Greetings, brothers, cousins. My name is Michael Dreiling, Giraffe. I went through the NWTA in November of 1999 in Melicoma. It was a life transformative moment. And 23 and a half years ago, my life just really hit a fork and created all kinds of new possibilities with this work. So I thank all the brothers and cousins who've helped me on this journey through the MKP project. So I'm here to read to you the Willamette Valley Mankind Project April 2023 newsletter. And while I'm at it, I'm going to give a big shout out to my brothers in our Medicine Men Circle in Eugene, Oregon. So thank you, men. First off, let's just share word that the Willamette Valley, 15 plus people on staff or as men of service at the first in-person NWTA of 2023. Way to go, folks. Way to go, brothers. Next, we have of course, welcome home. And so everybody who showed up to the March Welcome Home to welcome 3 new brothers into our valley from that March NWTA. I think there were approximately 40 men there and family members. So very good turnout in Monroe. And so we had at that welcome home new initiates, Randy Willard of Corvallis, Steve Stevens of Salem, and Taylor Elwood of Eugene. Taylor had actually inspired, I think, for this newsletter, a poem that he wrote after returning from his NWTA, which I'm going to read here, and he also read it at the welcome home. I'll try to do this justice here, Taylor. The gentle rocking back and forth, linked arms, brothers together. This is the embodied masculine. This is rooted power, stronger together, united in a bond of love and brotherhood. Looking into the eyes, deeply, intimately, connection, pure tears well up of joy and sadness, connection and grace. I reclaim the key to my soul through Saturn and Sun and unlock the cage, holding my wild one, stepping into my groundedness, embodying presence and holding space. By Taylor Elwood. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will have complete peace. So says Ajahn Chah. All right, news. New NWTA ventures for 2023 here in the Northwest. The first one, of course, has already been completed, and the 3 more scheduled are as follows. July 7th through 9th at Gray Owl Hollow, October 6th through 8th at Camp Wariki, and December 1st through the 3rd, Camp Wariki. So if you know a man who might be interested, send him this link. Help him get registered, point the way. If, of course, you have energy to staff or serve as a man of service, you can also apply with the link here in the newsletter. I'm going to read a message now in the newsletter that's in memory of Snake Bloomstrand, an early certified leader in our work who passed away last month. Daryl Growthhouse wrote this. Snake was one of the most creative, imaginative, magical, legendary facilitators our work ever produced. He was an artist in every sense of the word. Snake wrote this poem one Saturday night after we had stayed up late around a fire smoking cigars in NWTA. I told him about a dear friend many of you old dogs know, who had just gotten certified and committed suicide 6 months later. Snake and I were the old guys, with 2 younger guys new to staffing. The poem explains the rest. And that's from Daryl. And here's the poem from Snake called Tattoo. We are explorers, 21st century frontiersmen. The land we seek lies within the beating heart of every man. Leading men to his most private place is never without consequence. Stories remain anchored in a man's memory, like a small round tattoo. Tales collected over time threaten to completely cover the skin. Each tattoo bears witness to large moments in life. 4 of us sat in the twilight, talking about all we had seen. 2 were young, the few tattoos they wore, still raw from the needle. 2 were old, veterans of many tales, skin covered with ink. We spoke with reverence, never judgment, bearing witness to how men lived their lives, retelling the stories that had expanded our own hearts. A tale of tragedy was offered. Despite friendship, family, and intelligence, his suffering was so complete. No medicine could ease it. No counsel could erase it. He was loved by so many, yet his distrust of self damaged his soul, then killed his body. The author of the tale ended his own life. His choice, we will never fully understand. Leaving so many to wonder, to grieve, doubting our ability to ever ease another's pain. The finality of his choice left us reeling, questioning our own daily choice of life. We can only assume the journey into his beating heart revealed brokenness. Some hearts, regrettably, suffer a fatal blow, aching and leaking for decades, finally refusing to pump life through its host at all. The tragic stories leave a mark on the listener, a small tattoo. One of us, a younger man, speaks. His concerns are for himself. He asks the obvious questions. Why? Why lead men into the dark corners of life? Why suffer the tattoos of hundreds of strangers wrestling with life? I'm uncertain if I want this in my life. The question is left unanswered for the moment. Another tale begins, one of triumph, a childhood spent in a world of violence and crime. This man had survived. 60 years old, he had married, raised children, worked, thrived his adult life shaped in contrast to childhood. Integrity was the product of his heart, strong muscle, capable of selfless love. He never revealed where he came from until now. Secret stories suddenly exposed hide in the corners of his darkened chest. Stories of the street and dangerous people spilled from where he had locked them. Stored for decades, he had put them, the past behind, and always looked to the horizon. Now his entire story demanded examination. The tragedy of his childhood and the integrity of his adulthood stand in sharp contrast. Bookends holding the man upright, rooted firmly in this world. Courage and perseverance built upon a foundation of larceny and violence. A thin, balding man at first glance. A virtuous giant once his story is told. Another tattoo appears on my skin, another bookmark, another triumph of life. This land we seek has broad landscapes defined by words and emotion. Some men choose to live, looking to the horizon. Some walk to the horizon, pass through the gate. In the midst of suffering and triumph, some of us lead to the place where the stories can be told. We stand on the sacred dusty ground, part of the unbroken circle of story. We offer our skin and we collect tattoos bearing witness to men's lives. This act is not entirely selfless. We reap a great reward for our sacrifice. We're reminded of the magnificence embedded in every life. Why suffer the tattoos of hundreds of strangers wrestling with life? The full broad range of human experience lies out there, waiting, invisible until teased out into the open. Countless stories lie dormant for the lack of an invitation. Yes, we are explorers, leading the way toward the thin places in life. We need to be reminded every so often, reminded that life is lived in the thin place between tragedy and triumph. The stories remind us. The tattoos seem a small price to pay. Oh, thank you, Snake. Now, book of the month. This one's recommended book of the month is titled On Becoming an Alchemist, A Guide for the Modern Magician by Catherine McCone. There's a link to goodreads.com to learn more about this book if you're interested. The blurb here on the newsletter states, many regard alchemy as a metaphor for inner transformation. This is only half the story, according to Catherine McCone. Alchemy is no mere metaphor. It's real magic. Transforming the inner world is, for the alchemist, a way to transform the outer world. Through studying the principles of alchemy, we can achieve extraordinary effects from ordinary actions. By understanding how the world really works, we can perceive the hidden connections between the spiritual and the material worlds. Knowledge of these connections enables us to influence external phenomena through the powers of heart and mind alone. Yet alchemy is not, like some forms of magic, the exercise of mind over matter. It is the art of taking what already exists, whatever presents itself, and transmuting the harmful into the helpful, the useless into the valuable. Or as we like to say in our group, lead into gold. Becoming an alchemist initiates us into these secrets, showing us how to think, perceive, and operate as an alchemist. It offers practical advice and exercises that will help the modern magician to, here's some 5 bullet points, understand and apply basic principles of alchemy, transmute setbacks, failures, and losses into sources of magical power, navigate one's inner world with poise, confidence, and common sense, intuitively show up in the right place at the right time to benefit from magical coincidences. And 5, discover the potentials latent in any situation by awakening subtle perception. And that's it for the book of month blurb. Onward to another quote. Today I decided to forgive you, not because you apologized or because you acknowledged the pain that you caused me, but because my soul deserves peace. This is from Najwa Zebian. Now for some iGroup news. New Eugene iGroup started on March 27th. So if you know an initiated man in the Eugene area who would like to join a new group, contact our brother Jim Drews. His email is on the newsletter. Next, we've got some upcoming events. First off is after the July NWTA, we've got a welcome home on July 15th. That's Saturday, July 15th. From 12 to 4 at the Monroe City Park. Okay, that city park, you get the details of the directions and the address in the newsletter. These are potlucks, so bring your own service, plates, utensils, food, lawn chairs, and beverages, and any food to share. There are picnic tables and trash cans as well on site. As usual, there are opportunities to stay afterwards if you would like to socialize more with your community. So consider doing that, and there will be playing cards available. You'll bring your own games as well. You can contact Russ Bourne at 541-760-9117 or at his email in the newsletter for any questions you might have or any ideas you might want to contribute to for this welcome home. Next, we have an August 10th through 13th Willamette Valley Men's Summer Camping Trip. And this is going to be at Red Diamond Group Campground. And Jeff Lavelle is the man to contact for more information on this. And he's in the Men with Spectacles iGroup, and his email is listed here in the newsletter, as well as his phone number. Here's a short blurb just describing the site. So if you're really interested and curious about the site, you can also follow a link for the Forest Service that's here in the newsletter as well. So this small site is located adjacent to the South Fork of the McKenzie River and offers a quiet, primitive setting. The campground, which accommodates up to 25 people and 10 vehicles, provides plenty of shade for warm summer days. Campground is laid out on one loop with picnic tables and campfire rings and ample parking. Portable toilets and trash collection are provided, but there's no water available, so make sure you come prepared for your own water supply. Of course, there's fishing, kayaking, swimming, all popular activities on the river, hiking nearby, and there's the Cougar River Reservoir is just nearby, and the Box Canyon Trail area. So there's just great opportunities nearby for biking, hiking, and horseback riding. All right, next up, we've got an open men's circle. This is something that's available via Zoom. So if you know a man who's not sitting in a men's circle, would be interested in this in a Zoom meeting, invite him to join the safe place for men to meet and be present. This Willamette Valley Open Men's Circle meets on the first and third Mondays from 7 to 9 p.m. The Zoom link information is available here in the newsletter, so you can take a look there. Also, MKP USA is running a weekly online men's group. You can get more information and register online here in the newsletter. Okay, now for the inspiration of the month, we've got two quotes that have some relationship, I think you'll find. First off, from G.I. Gurdjieff. Man has no individual I, but there are instead hundreds and thousands of separate small I's, very often entirely unknown to one another, never coming into contact or, on the contrary, hostile to each other, mutually exclusive and incompatible. Each moment, each moment man is saying or thinking, I, and each time his I is different. Just now it was a thought, now it is a desire, now a sensation, now another thought, and so on endlessly. Man is a plurality. Man's name is Legion. Next quote. You want to lash out at the parts of yourself that seem to hold you back. At moments like that, it's important to be able to sit down and speak gently with yourself, as if saying a prayer or reading a poem. Whichever part of you is unhappy, reassure it. Accept your many selves and allow them to speak both to you and to each other. This quote is from William Siegert. The Poetry Pharmacy Returns, the name of the book. All right, for a couple twists of humor, let's see if I can do this dance. Okay, here we go. One about a rainbow. This, I didn't really think of this before. A rainbow looks good because the colors demonstrate restraint. Otherwise, it would be an ugly blob. This is from Irindam Mukherjee. And here's some silly little jokes that apparently only Jay thinks are funny. Maybe some of you also will think it's funny, but I don't know. Let's see. I can deliver. What do you call a place where they make things that are just okay? A satisfactory. Why are concert halls so damn cold? Because they're full of fans. Why did the ocean cry? Bet y'all guessed on this one already. Because it was blue. What do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish. All right, why couldn't the chef decide to serve pancakes? She kept waffling. Why did the lobsters refuse to help? Because they are shellfish. And why, at last, did the shoe go to heaven? Because it had a good soul, of course. All right, finally, let's wrap this up with looking for new growth opportunities. MKP has a number of training opportunities. Sampling is below. You can learn about these from the unpacking training, starts on April 5th. Learn more here in the newsletter. This next one is Waking Up to Whiteness, a journey from awareness to justice. This is online, starts April 19th. You can learn more online here. There's also a bigger list that includes the Introduction to Conflict Resolution, Tools for Reconnection and Building Right Relationships. That one starts April 23rd. So lots of resources here for you to explore. And I really appreciate the moment here to be with you all present to this newsletter and the work that some of you have put together. I'm getting a little bit of the sunlight coming in here and messing with my appearance, but I really appreciate you staying in touch with the community, and I'm glad I could be part of it and of service. Love to you all, brothers.